So, Dylan, I want to start off by just kind of looking in the rearview mirror, so to speak, on the cusp of your new album, Joyful Loser, coming out. When I look back at Drifting real quick, there was a short story that accompanied that. We talked about Adam's fear and had this desire to go to outer space and ended up sacrificing everything. And the album not
Depressing.
not only follows his narrative, but there are also things from your own life that were depicted in the song. And so you were leading us through a story in that album. You were taking us somewhere, using life to inspire art and vice versa. So for this album, what is it that you're telling the listener? Where are you taking us? What big picture are you trying to paint?
Yeah, Drifting was hard to let go of, and you kind of have to let go of an album, kind of like when your kid turns 18 and you just kick them out the house, say, go do your thing.
Right.
I tried to raise that album right, and the album really went over a lot of people's heads, so it was a learning process, and part of that is me just not having the machine promotion and marketing wise to make everyone aware of what was going on. So this album, I decided to go back to an older approach, but with a fresh style to it. And what I'm trying to do with this album is, like when you wake up at like 2:30 in the morning and your mouth is extremely dry and you feel just dead, and you go out to the kitchen and you pour a glass of water, and when you take that first drink, that's how I want people to feel when they listen to Joyful Loser. Simple, no story, this Drifting, Adam's Fear. Definitely, I encourage people to check it out, the documentary on Amazon as well. But this one is much more in your face, like plain and simple. You know where I'm going with the album. You don't have to gather all these other pieces to put it together.
Right. So would you say even this album is the tracks are standalone? You could slip in, listen to any one song.
For sure. Yeah, that was kind of by design.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into that. The first track, title track, Joyful Loser. In our culture, it's not a secret that in America, we don't celebrate being last. We're very much about being first, very much about being the best. And yet that flies in the face of Scripture, where Jesus says, if you want to be first, you have to be last.
Yeah.
So talk to us about just that contrast of somebody may listen to this and go, I don't even know how to take this song. It flies in the face of what I believe, maybe as an American.
Joyful Loser was just the title track for the album, so I had to embody what did I actually mean by those words. There's lots of ways you can take Joyful Loser. Really, a theme verse for me would be to live as Christ, to die as gain. I think that's to die is gain. There's joy in gain, but then there's loss because there's death. I think Jesus joyfully endured the shame and laid down his life for the joy set before him, I believe is in Hebrews 12. Practically in our life, we are called as believers to be joyful losers. So I said, I lost hurt today. I gave up living in the worst of ways. I let go of living on the surface. Wait, I found deep peace. Now my worth is placed in a person who faced my hurt and hate with his mercy and grace didn't turn away. So it starts off with listing all of the things that everyone agrees on is good to lose. It's good to lose hurt. It's good to lose fear. Maybe not everyone agrees that it's good to let go of living on the surface, but I started thinking about all the things that I've lost that I'm thankful for. I started thinking about my mom who lost, 3 decades of addiction. She lost it whenever she gained Christ, and that was something that was joyful to lose. But where it gets harder to live out is the things that we experience in this world that are hurtful to lose. And I think it's okay that they hurt. I think they're supposed to hurt because how God designed us, it should hurt when we lose a friendship, when we lose a loved one, when we lose trust with our spouse. Like those things should hurt when we lose those things. But if we believe that God is for us and God is with us, then there is an abiding joy, even if we're not happy, to know that whatever I lose, I'm going to gain infinitely more in heaven. Really, when it comes down to it, we don't get to take anything with us after we die. What we have is Christ, and that's all we'll take with us to heaven.